Hello, welcome to the podcast, Besties on Purpose podcast. We just wrapped up our circle activation call with our ambassador circle members, and it was a good one. We were talking about going from routine to relationship and building that intimate walk with God. And we decided we wanted to kind of not give you the whole thing because of course we want to invite you into the circle. But there was a part that stood out to us where we were talking about a scripture from Luke, and it's the Martha and Mary story. The first one, they're in there a couple times, but and it's kind of busyness versus being. So, Cheryl, what are your thoughts so far?
Yeah. And this part you reminded me was in The Chosen. These are Lazarus's sisters, right? Am I right?
Yes.
And Martha was doing all the things. Do you want to read the scripture? Do you want me to read the scripture?
Yeah, I can read it.
Oh, you can
Okay,
read
so
it.
we're going to go with Luke chapter 10 verses 38 through 42. I'm going to be reading the NIV version, and it says, "As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She called to him and asked, 'Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her to help me.' 'Martha, Martha,' the Lord answered, 'you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her.'" This totally just reminds me of like my kids. Like, "Mom, they're making me do it by myself." So,
Or just like our mom life in general. Like we want to just be, and we're like, okay, self-care moments. But but it's like not about it's but we still have to do all the things like the laundry, the dishes, and we get mad. We're like, but I have no time. But I think this is like that one of those stories that can give you all this insight into like our life. Like what are we choosing to what are we choosing to do? And are we choosing it intentionally, or are we choosing it because the world tells us has to do it? Like all these questions. That's why I was like, okay, let's talk about this story because I feel like Martha, yes, she's making the good bread. Yes, she's like making all the drinks for everyone. But like Mary gets to, and I think she's just jealous. She just get
yeah.
like, you just have to sit there because that's what I would feel. I would be like, oh my gosh, I want to sit. I just want to sit there. Like, and as a mom, I'm like, I just want to sit. And then when you sit, everyone's like, mom, 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 mom. And, but we're like, we just want to sit. And this is like our besties on purpose intention is to like sit with God, be in relationship with God. Um, and I still can't believe I'm saying that. Yeah.
As you said on the calls, Cheryl was like, I probably would have been like 10-year ago me would have probably been making fun of me today, but I don't care because this is happier me. So that's kind of, yeah, like what we're leading to here is that Jesus is reminding us that being present with him is the better choice, even over those good and necessary tasks, like all the preparations, right? Like, was everybody there very grateful for the bread and the wine and everything else? Absolutely. But also, would they have been completely fine if she was present with him and then gone and done that later? And this is kind of a tangent, but not really. It's going to tie in. I throw birthday parties for my children most of the time. I mean, they're getting older now, so they're not always asking for it now, especially my son. But when they were younger, I would clean so much before the party. And just to have the party and then have to clean so much again. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was like maybe 5 years ago when I realized I don't have to do all that detailed cleaning for no one to even really observe it. I can just do like spot clean And then if I want my floors swept and mopped, let's do that afterwards because they're just going to get dirty again anyways. So it kind
Yep.
of is like this is like a good time to take that little check of like, are you preparing to prepare for what? Like what is the intentionality behind your preparation?
Yeah, and I think it's the what can lead that or like guide that is the for what. And we often like we don't really think about that because we're thinking about all the like the dough needs to be ready right now. The I just think about Thanksgiving. Um I love Thanksgiving, but I don't like hosting Thanksgiving. Because I
The
love all the
timeline of
food.
who what's got to go into the oven at what time to
Yeah,
make
but
sure
then we sit
everything's
for
ready.
like 1 hour. Well, different families, I'm not gonna say who like they sit for like 1 hour or less, and you had a whole day of cooking, and then you're like so tired that you can't even talk. Like you can't even like do what Thanksgiving's all about. It's like give thanks and give like all like connection with
Yeah.
each other. You're so like done that you just want to take a nap. And I
Yeah.
don't like that.
That's
So
why this Thanksgiving we had like we were home here and we just had a few friends over. I actually don't even know that we made turkey cuz it I was like anyway. Um but it was very I was very limited and even Easter, like Easter I was like okay, I'm going to do a ham, I'm going to do mashed potatoes and I think I did green beans and one other vegetable. I think I did two vegetables, but I was like it was I kept it simple because I wanted to be able to have the space for the intimacy and the conversation that really is the heart of the thing you're doing, like the root of what you're doing. And I think that is what I do want to kind of talk about this too. Like Jesus is more and God, like they're more concerned with the relationship than the actions, right? Like a lot of times we think we have to do all these things. We got to go to church. We got to say our prayers. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to do the other. But then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, are you doing those things just because you think you should, or are you doing them for actual relationship with him? Like, are you getting back out of it that relationship? And yeah, it's just like he wants our heart. Obviously, my timer ran off of that, but he wants
yeah,
our heart, not just our habits.
yes. And that's why I was talking about kind of drove the topic was doing the Bible app. And the Bible app's new to me, but I was one of my friends talked about streaks. It was probably Candace and Rachel, and they're like, I gotta keep my streaks going. And I
Was
already
not
like
Candace.
canceled 10,000 steps a day. I canceled 5 workouts a week. I canceled all of that stuff in my head because it was like just stressing me out. But to have a relationship with the Bible, to have relationship with that time, I think is way gives more of an impact than anything. And what comes to mind is like my ask God questions. I haven't done one of those listening prayers in a really long time. And in our activation call, we were talking about like, okay, have we created space for God? Have we made if we made the room, but we can make all the room, but we actually have to use the room. Like
Yes.
be like super not super intentional, but like if you have a relationship rather than um a routine with it, then it has a bigger impact long term. I think that's
Yes.
the thing. Is the long term is
Yes.
way better than the instant gratification that in the human world we live in is like we need that instant gratification because we don't like to wait anymore. I don't even I remember watching commercials when I was young and they didn't bother me as much as they bother me now. Like I hate watching commercials and I love and even like the TV stations know that because they put a timer now. They're like, "Okay, I know you hate this, but it's coming. It's
Yes.
coming. It's coming." So
Here's how long you have to watch this and suffer through it. Actually, for me, it's always like you got 1.5 minutes to run across the house and do this thing or that thing.
Oh my
I just did it yesterday. That's how I'm able to talk about that. Oh,
Yeah. So just knowing that we have to wait and knowing like all these things that we have been like basically taken away from us because people say to create routines and to do all that. We're like different here at Besties on Purpose. We're not
yeah.
about like the routine. We can create routine, like we've been doing daily text messages and all that stuff, but we're not like saying you have to do this.
So for
It's just
me, it becomes
there.
more of consistency, which funny
Mhm.
enough, in the past, I linked the definitions of consistency and routine together. Like to me, it
Yep.
was like I wanted to be consistently routine. I want to have a routine and do it consistent. Now, the consistency is at some point in my day, am I making space and time to be intentionally present with God?
Yeah.
And I'm going to just be real raw and honest with you guys that no, even though Cheryl and I do all this stuff that we're doing to help everybody in the communities, it still feels like, for me personally, and I know Cheryl too, but it feels like, could I be better? Yes. Am I doing, and it's like that check for yourself. That I think, I know actually, is a benefit for me out of this community, out of our partnership, but also this community, in that I get my check, my personal check, whenever I'm like, okay, wait, am I, it's a shorter time in between my realizing the busyness, right? Like even though we're doing this for God and we're showing up and we're helping other people in their relationship with God, it can start like tilting over into the busyness, like check in the box routine part, rather than being present and being intentional and fostering our own relationships and letting all the other stuff be a positive too, like an add-on to a bonus.
Yeah, I think one of our reflection questions when you said that is how can I shift my quiet time from obligation to overflow?
Mhm.
And yeah, that just hits in a lot of ways. And I hope that um that helps listeners like realize that why we're here, why we were chosen, why we get to live the life we live. I think it's just that's a good closing question.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so as you're listening, answering that question, how can you shift your quiet time from obligation into overflow? We want to invite you, if you haven't done so, to text the word woman to 850-888-5182. During the month of May, we are doing this live right alongside with you. We're learning from 31 different women in the Bible. And if you're hearing this after the month of May, you can still text the word woman to 850-888-5182. And we will get you into that 31-day campaign. We'll get you information about it. But we are learning that we also have a special for the month of May where you can join our become a May Circle Insider, and you would get to join us backstage live for our Walk with Jesus Wednesdays, where we're recapping our takeaways from those 31 from the devotionals each day and the reflections each day, and we're diving deeper, so you get that backstage access, and you get to go with us backstage with our ambassador circle members, and only on Wednesdays, to dive deeper into whatever topic we're talking about on that week. And then we still have currently our founding special, I guess is what we're calling it, for
Anniversary
our
thing.
what?
Yeah. Our founding pricing, founders member pricing
Yes, founding
for
members
our
pricing.
ambassador circle.
Yes.
And if you want more about this topic from like busyness to just being, or from routine to relationships like with God, we dive deeper into that circle. And it was so good. Like
It was
everyone
so
has to be.
and
I
at
don't know.
different times, Cheryl and I both are like grabbing our notebooks, like, okay, this is a personal note for me.
Yes. So, we are inviting you to all the things, and we hope that this gets to you at the time where you need it. And let's chase purpose on purpose together. Bye.
Bye.
Slightly.